so excited because in today's video, we're going to talk about reinventing yourself and what that looks like, tangible steps to reinventing yourself so you can start glowing and shining and moving through the world with confidence that is not outside of yourself, but truly genuine to who you are and where you want to go and who you actually want to be. So let's get right into it. For starters, you have to get clear on why it is that you want to reinvent yourself. Whatever the reason, I applaud you and I just want to hold space for you because it's a big deal. Now, in order to reinvent yourself and glow up and try to become the dream version of yourself, you are going to have to get your imagination and your creativity involved. Imagination is actually key. Now, I want to say I've been reading this book called The Body Keeps the Score, and they have a whole section talking about imagination and how imagination can actually evoke a feeling of anxiety, horrible intrusive thoughts, especially in those who maybe have dealt with PTSD or experienced extreme trauma in their life. On the other hand, if someone maybe doesn't deal with those things or have that feeling, it will evoke creativity and excitement and joy in them. So I actually wanted to read a little bit of the section about imagination to help you understand. It says, imagination is absolutely critical to the quality of our lives. Our imagination enables us to leave a routine, everyday existence by fantasizing about travel, food, falling in love, having the last word, all of the things that make life interesting. Imagination gives us the opportunity to envision new possibilities. It is an essential launch pad for making our hopes come true. So, how can we put our imagination to work to help us reinvent ourselves? Well, my friend, this leads us right into a vision board. I am a huge advocate when it comes to vision boards. I actually started doing vision boards consistently about 3 years ago, and when I tell you that my vision boards have come true. Now, things that maybe didn't come true one year, I would just put it on the next year, and slowly but surely, everything will happen. Now, granted, if you have like a giant mansion on your vision board, maybe you can't achieve that within 1 year, but you should continue to dream big. I highly recommend that if you are someone that is wanting to save money and you don't feel like going to the store to get a bunch of magazines and all the things, go ahead, get on Pinterest and start to create a board and save images, whether that be quotes or pictures of travel, or pictures of couples, lifestyle, love, all the things, food, things that you want to do in your life. Start to create a board, a virtual Pinterest board, and let it be a reflection of your heart's desire for where you want to see your life to go. And anything that stands out, even if it's fashion, sense, style, go ahead and pin it, because the thing that's going to happen is you're actually going to start to get to know yourself. We spend so much time getting to know our family, our partners, our children, and a lot of times we don't spend time getting to know ourselves. We evolve over time, and so it's important to sit with yourself and really see, who am I in this season and who do I want to become? What do my desires say about what my reinvention could really look like? And I encourage you, don't question whatever comes up. Don't question why all of your Pinterest boards are images of, a mansion in Colorado with a bunch of snow, and you always thought you were someone that liked the beach. Don't judge it, just let it be and let it flow. Home, relationships, dream jobs, dream vacation destinations. If you don't have a passport, put that on there as well. I did that last year and I got my passport this year. I'm so excited about that. And I want to encourage you to use your imagination for good. And if you are someone who's watching this video that has experienced trauma, like the book talks about, and you do find yourself when it comes time to daydream that it's really difficult for you, an exercise like this can actually be really, really helpful, because then you can just be like, I don't know, I do get a reaction from that and I do like what it makes me feel, so I'm gonna pin it. I won't question. We're not creating a vision board to ask ourselves, how can it get done or how is it going to come to pass? We're just here to daydream. Once you've created this vision board, if you can, print out the photos and put it on an actual cardboard or a piece of paper and put it somewhere in your house that you're gonna see every day. And if you can't, that's okay. Maybe just look at it every day on Pinterest. But there is power in making your vision clear. In the Bible, there's even a verse that confirms this as well. It says, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he who reads it may run. And what does this mean? Like, when it's made plain, when we write it down, when we envision it, when we take it from our imagination and create a beautiful vision, we can run with that. We can do something with that. We have a point of reference that we can use whenever life does get a little crazy or we do feel a little overwhelmed. And I'll say this, if you do this part, as the days go by, you will start to realize, holy crap, my vision board is coming to pass. And it's the coolest thing that you ever experience. So I just have to say that. The second step in reinventing yourself is all about deciding and committing to the journey. You have to decide and commit inside of yourself that you are ready to be made anew, that it's gonna be okay if you change. You honestly have to decide that you're okay with becoming unrecognizable. And you've got to cut off all other options, honey. I once heard a phrase that said, your desires are not problems that need to be solved. And this really stood out to me because sometimes, when you're putting the vision board together, when you're thinking about the life you want to have and the standards you want to start creating and the boundaries when you start setting, there's a part of us that starts to be like, well, I don't know if I'm really worthy of that, or what is this going to do? How is this going to upend my life? But the desires that you have in your heart, the vision that you want to have for your life, it is not a problem that you have to solve. It is a desire that God put there. So don't overthink it. Your job is to just do the first step of committing to it and deciding that this gets to be the new normal. Don't judge yourself for having new updated standards. Don't judge yourself for having new and updated desires. You get to change. That is the beauty of being a creature on this planet floating through space. We get to change. Just like the seasons get to change. Every word has like that Latin origin, and deciding and decision comes from a Latin word. I'm not even about to try to say it because I will butcher it, but it's all about cutting off. So when you think about incision, decision comes from that. It's to cut off all other options, to literally ain't going back, honey. It's been cut off. And why is this important? Well, there's a thing called choice overload. Choice overload is horrible because it really leads to screwing you up when it comes time to actually making a decision. What happens when we want to make a decision is we end up freezing and we just revert back to what we're used to. And if you're trying to change things up, if you're trying to get to a better place or have higher standards or create boundaries, if you don't have a plan in place and you have not decided or committed to this new reality, even though you can't see it fully yet, what's going to happen is you're just going to be like, after a few days, maybe if you're having a bad day, you're going to be like, well, you know what? It's not for me. I'm going to revert back to what I am used to. And what that does is it makes us feel bad about ourselves because we are not showing up for ourselves in the way that we knew that we wanted to, and we are letting ourselves down. Let me give you an example of this. So I started in my fitness journey about a year ago, and I will say what's really fun about this is I've always been someone that was pretty active. I've always worked out. I've always eaten good for the most part. But it wasn't until about a year ago when I got really serious about my fitness journey. And I even got more serious this year when I hired a personal trainer. And she also put together meal plans for me as well. And so before her, my fitness looked like this. I would wake up and I would say, well, I slept in, I'll work out at night. and I wouldn't go to the gym at night, or maybe I would, who knows. Some days maybe I would say, I don't need to go to the gym. I have free weights at my house. I can just go for a run in my neighborhood. There was a lot of options, right? When it came to eating healthy, I maybe would meal prep. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd cook my food. Maybe I'd hit up Chick-fil-A and Taco Bell. Who knows? And so what ended up happening is when I got serious, when I decided I actually want to see change in my body and in my mind, and I want to feel better. I want to feel good. So I hired someone that is a professional, and she made me a workout plan, and she also made me a meal plan. And this woman literally took all decisions away. I did not have too many options. She stripped me of all the options. This is what you're eating for breakfast. This is what you're eating for lunch. This is what you're eating for dinner. Go on a meal prep. These are your workouts throughout the week, and you have to go to the gym because you need to use this equipment. So all of the options of maybe I'll run today, maybe I'll walk today, maybe I'll do free weights, maybe I'll do yoga, that was completely stripped away. I had a clear, focused plan. And when I tell you, within a week, I saw results that I had never seen before. But my mental space, it wasn't just physical results, okay? I saw results in my mind as well. Clarity. I started having more clarity because the space that all of these options was taking up in my mind was taking up space for peace, was taking away space from being able to just use that mental energy for something better and more constructive. So I encourage you, commit to this journey and decide that you get to have this new life. You get to be this new version of yourself, and make it easy on yourself. Remove all the options if you can. The third step is all about taking inventory of your input. What are you taking in on a regular basis? Now, this is more about content that you're consuming, not necessarily food, even though food is very important as well. But for this step, I really want to focus on what you're consuming when it comes to what you're feeding your brain and your mental space. I'm talking social media. I'm talking YouTube. Hello, hope you're liking the video. I'm talking all the things, podcasts, music. Most of us are consuming content on a regular basis. And it's important for us to take inventory of what that actually looks like. What is that doing to us? Is it creating a good life? Is it creating more anxiety? Is it making us look at the world as if it's not a good place? Is it encouraging us to become better? I remember I had lived in California. It was a very interesting time in my life, and I decided to move out of California and back to my home city. And when I had moved back to my home city, I was working a couple of jobs trying to build up my photography business at the time. And I was not very happy. I wasn't. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know where my life was going. Everything seemed very uncertain. And so what I found myself doing was consuming lots of gossip YouTube channels, lots of podcasts about murder and all the crazy stuff. I also started listening to the news more, which I never did before. I started listening to, those gossip channels where they would talk about, men versus women and all this stuff. And what's so funny looking back is I didn't realize how much that was affecting me. I literally would look at people from the lens of this stuff that I was consuming. And instead of spending time with myself and consuming information and content and music that put me at ease and encouraged me to become a better person and work on myself so that I can make the little part of my world a better place, right? Because I can't change the whole planet. But how could I become better and make a difference in my relationships, in my family, in my jobs? I didn't even think about that. I just was consuming. And what that started to do for me was I started gaining weight. I started eating bad foods. I started eating out more when I love to cook. I started to dress way more like frumpy and covered up because I didn't want attention, because I was afraid of, like, I just started having anxiety, and it was like, where is this coming from? But where it was coming from was what I was putting in my system, and it was shaping me in the wrong direction. You know what's really beautiful is that we live in a time right now where the boundary and the limit doesn't really exist. Back in the day, like long times ago, there, maybe not even that long, but a while ago, if you were poor, you didn't have access to a lot of information, to education, to certain pieces of content. You just didn't. You had to have family pay for that for you. There was a period when maybe you couldn't get in certain doors or into certain jobs, or you couldn't wear certain clothes because the information was blocked. But now that is not the case. I want to give you an example of this. So as someone who did go to college and took out loans, and, you know, I learned, and I'm grateful for that period of my life, education and knowledge didn't have to stop there. There are audiobooks if you live in a city where you have to drive, where you can listen and gain new information. I mean, this book right here is teaching me a lot about the mind and the brain and how we process things that I don't think I ever would have learned in school, because this is a topic that's specific to something that I care about. Let's think about people that want to learn more and are like, man, I wish I could take courses and learn at these big universities, but I can't. But that's not true. If you go to YouTube, there's literally MIT University, Harvard. They have channels where there are full-blown free courses and free seminars where there's world-renowned professors teaching on specific topics. And what a time to be alive. The information that we consume will shape us. It will either give us anxiety or inspire us. It will either call us higher and to dream bigger and to reshape our imagination from trauma and just complete crazy, creepy, intrusive thoughts to something that's like, you know what? That is possible for me. I do want to XYZ fill in the blank, right? We have it in us nowadays, especially to pick what it is that we are going to subscribe to. So I encourage you to subscribe right. Consume motivational content, inspirational content. Seek out people that have done the work and are out here sharing what they did to build it. There's so many interviews of CEOs and inventors that we have on YouTube, and you will gain wisdom and knowledge through that in podcasts. And I think it's really just about taking the meat, seeking out the meat and spitting out the bones, instead of seeking out trash that's going to really cause anxiety. And so I myself had to detox a lot of that stuff. And when I tell you I saw a change in my life, it's so real. The input that we put in our minds and our bodies, it matters. So choose wisely. The last thing I'll say about this is, it's a good thing to fill your knowledge bank. Having an expansive knowledge bank of information that is interesting and expansive and growth mindset driven, what will happen is you will actually start to feel more confident about yourself. Forget what other people think. You yourself will start to be like, I'm actually kind of smart. You know, I actually kind of know a little thing here and a little thing over there. And your confidence boost will shoot through the roof. And the next time you find yourself in conversation with people, whether it's at the job, with a client, with your kid, or with a friend, it's like, dang, okay, I didn't know that you were smart. Or it's like, dang, I didn't know that. I really needed to hear that today. And you open doors for new, expansive conversations. And I think that's what we need more of in this world. So be the change, my friend. Choose your input and watch the output start to look different. All right, so the fourth step is all about creating a new routine. I want to talk about the concept of habit stacking. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but I think it's amazing. So habit stacking is all about taking a habit that you already have going on in your life and turning up the dial just a little bit. You want to get consistent little by little without ripping the Band-Aid off and doing something extreme, and you can't sustain that. So here's an example of habit stacking. So let's say that you normally wake up at 7:30 every morning. You just kind of roll out of bed. You turn off your alarm if you even set one. You kind of just boop, 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 get in the shower, brush your teeth, do all the things, throw on whatever, and go to Starbucks or get food on the way to work. What if instead of waking up at 7, you choose to wake up at 6? Now you have an extra hour. It wasn't too extreme to wake up an hour earlier, but now you have an extra hour to spare. And in that extra hour to spare, maybe you choose to do a little workout, maybe like a little quick 15-minute workout on YouTube. Maybe you decide to read, or maybe you decide to journal, or maybe you decide to spend time meditating and prayer, or do some breath work. Either way, you've given yourself extra time for yourself. And with that extra time, you now get to be intentional while the rest of the world is still sleeping. And you have now just become a new version of yourself. You have reinvented your morning routine. Maybe do that for a week, and then the next week, maybe wake up at 5 a.m. Now you have 2 hours to spare. What could you do with that? Maybe you have a project that you want to work on. Maybe you have another side hustle that you would love to build on and you need to learn. Can you use that time to study? Can you use that time to actually maybe go to the gym this time and enjoy the sauna? I don't know. What could you do with that extra time? Something that really has worked for me is I have a dog. He's the cutest. Ollie is his name. And I walk him every day, right? But anybody who has a dog knows that your dog is going to sniff everything. It's not really like a walk, it's kind of just like a leisure stroll. And I needed to get more cardio in from my trainer. She's like, you need more cardio. And so I habit stacked by walking my dog like I always do. But after we're done walking, I drop him off at my place and I will just leave again and I'll go and get my 45 minutes in of actual consistent walking. And that is time that I get to have in the evening where maybe I get to catch up on a podcast myself, or maybe I get to listen to music, or maybe nothing. Maybe I need to just listen to the birds chirping, But that is what habit stacking looks like. It's taking something that you already do, but adding to it. And as you start to become more consistent, what you're able to do with that is up to you. And you get to create from that place. And because we created that vision board, you can actually pull from that vision board to fill that extra time, which is awesome. You will feel so renewed and refreshed because you took time for yourself before the world woke up, and there's power in that. And I'll also say there's so much power in that extra time to even be able to pamper yourself and get dressed and, hold space for yourself. It starts to look good, I promise you. Habit stacking is all about little by little adding so that you can start to feel confident about the life you are intentionally creating for yourself. And the ripple effects go out to your partner, your family, your job, all the things. And it all starts with you. So I encourage you, try the habit stacking. All right, y'all. The 5th step is all about the physical glow up. Yes, let's get into it. I love this one. Now, let me just say, taking care of yourself is a flex. I'm not sure where the memo was sent out that not taking care of yourself is a flex, but I need that to be immediately ripped up and thrown in the trash. Okay, because here's the thing. Looking like a bum, not taking care of yourself, not caring about how you look, not caring about your hygiene, not caring about how you come off to forget the world, yourself, is a problem. I am a firm believer that when you look good, you feel good. I know from personal experience, the times when I have not taken care of myself, the times where I have really looked the worst, I look like who did it and why, for real, out here in these streets, I was not happy. And I think a lot of times we hear narratives of people talking about self-love and just only focus on the inward. But the thing is, the innermost parts of you should be reflecting on the outside as well. This is a holistic approach, right? You can't have one without the other. If you want yin, you need yang, right? So if you're working on your inward, beautiful, but take time for the external and the physical part of yourself. Your body is a temple, okay? Take care of it. It is precious. It is something that is special. And every body is different. Every physical body is different. Every person is different. But if you can learn to enhance what you have and feel good because you look good, honey, I mean, why wouldn't you want that? And if you're watching this and you're like, Tina, I don't care how I look, or maybe you were taught that taking care of yourself and caring about how you look is vain or is all vanity, I'm here to tell you that's not true. But if you want to believe that have at it. But that's not true. It's not factually correct. And in my opinion, no matter who you are, no matter what lifestyle you live, you feel different when you look good. You feel more confident when you look good. No one can speak to you when you look good. Like when you look bad, you're like, dang, they're kind of right. You know, I didn't really show up very cute today. So you already have a deficit. But when you leave your house, and even if you don't leave your house, let's get into this, because I've heard people say, you know, oh, I don't have anywhere to be, so I'm not going to get dressed up. Or I don't have anywhere to be. I don't need to brush my teeth. I don't need to shower. The issue with that, especially post-COVID, right, is that what if you are a remote worker? What if you're a stay-at-home mom and your kids are seeing you look rough? Like what habits are we passing on? You know what I'm saying? What are our habits of not caring for ourselves doing to our own self-esteem and our own self-confidence? Forget about other people and the impressions that we make on others. What is that doing to us psychologically? I have found that when I take care of myself and when I make it a point to wake up, get dressed head to toe, be a little extra, put a little lipstick on, put some mascara on, make sure I'm in a color that makes me feel beautiful, put some earrings on, take a shower, brush my teeth, I have found that I'm proud of myself and I walk with pride. I walk taller. I make a first impression to myself first. And from that place, I'm able to shine everywhere else. You deserve to be someone that you're proud of. You deserve to be someone that feels good about who they are. I encourage you to make it your mission to become proud of yourself and to become the person that not only you're proud of, but your family is proud to be associated with. Your partner is proud to be associated with you. Your children are proud that you are their mom or their dad. You know, your colleagues are like, yeah, wow, you look amazing. Like, let me step up my game because now we have a new standard in town. Okay, we're not all looking like busted and disgusted. We are royalty out here in these streets. In real estate, there's a saying called pride of ownership. And this is normally, you know, when you hear curbside appeal, you know, when someone's house is well manicured and they have the wreath and they have flowers and they have all this stuff, it's because they take pride in their house. They are proud to own that home and they want to make a statement about that. Think about that for you. How are you presenting yourself? Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of who you are as a human being? And if the answer is no, that's okay, because every day is a new day. And with every day, we get new decisions and we get to reinvent ourselves and we get to create beautiful, beautiful lives based off of intentional decision making every day. I struggle to see people talk about self-love and self-confidence and all this stuff, and they themselves don't look good, or they just look really bad and busted and unintentional. It's hard for me to believe them. It's hard for me to believe them because they don't believe it themselves, or they would carry themselves differently. The word love is actually an action, so you have to do something. If you love yourself, you take care of yourself. Just like we love others, like I'm someone that I love hard, okay? I will literally come and help my sister clean her house. Like I'm there for you. I will do what needs to be done to help you feel loved. But when it comes time for us to do that for ourselves, we don't. And it's not right and it's not fair. And if you're going to reinvent yourself to become the best version, the most glowed up version who is just walking around glowing, you owe it to yourself to do for yourself, to wake up and get dressed and be extra, and all these things that maybe you were taught, if you're a woman especially, of, oh, you don't want to do too much, or you don't want to get attention. It's about getting the right attention. If you want to be modest, fantastic. You can still be extremely modest and look like a goddess, okay? No one's saying get crazy attention. That's not good. But leaning into the right attention, leaning into your own version of put together, leaning into your own version of feeling like an extra goddess queen, you get to determine what that looks like. But I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't look like ashy lips. It doesn't look like dirty, baggy hoodies. It doesn't look like all of these things that I've seen out here, guys. So I'm just calling it, and I'm just saying it like I see it. And I know hearing all of this is probably like, duh, Tina, this is not rocket science. But when we're so caught up in busy, and when we're so caught up in the next thing that we have to do, we do neglect ourselves. And we may not be aware, but it does start to pour into the bigger parts of our lives. So take the time, create that morning routine, create something that you can have that with that habit stacking, and incorporate and give yourself enough time and space to be intentional with how you are presenting yourself to the world and what you're putting in your system. The 6th step is all about self-expression in your clothes. I highly recommend that you review your vision board that we created at the beginning and see what styles, what fashion, what items stood out to you, and go to your closet, okay? I need you to clean it out. I'm the queen of cleaning things out. I love to declutter. I'm Marie Kondo over here, okay? So how can you simplify your life even more with clothes? And how can you step into your very own self-expression with your style? I actually did this recently in my own closet, where I went through my closet and I saw each item. I laid it out. I pulled it out. I looked at it and I said, does this bring me joy? Marie Kondo, right? And if it didn't, it is sent to donations. And also, if I haven't worn it in the past year, I'm probably not going to wear it. It's just collecting dust at the back of my closet. And so knowing what colors bring you joy, knowing what you look good in, what clothes have people complimented you with, where are the clothes that people have said, you look amazing, oh my God, you look so beautiful. Like, what were you wearing? Be conscious of the compliments that come at you when you're dressing, and see if you can add more of those pieces to your closet, because it is important for you to create a capsule. You see a lot of videos and people talking about wardrobe capsules, and a lot of times all of those look the same. There's a lot of beiges, a lot of blacks, a lot of whites. I personally don't subscribe to that because I love color, and I believe that people should be wearing colors that make them feel stunning and beautiful, and you should totally get your color analysis done if you can. But the thing is, when you know what makes you feel beautiful, and when you realize that when I wear dresses all the time, people compliment me, or when I wear this color, people always compliment me, or when I wear this lipstick, people always compliment me, that is going to help you simplify your life so much more and declutter and start to donate items, therefore making room for new to enter your life. I want to share a crazy stat with you. Did you know that we only wear 20% of our wardrobe? 20% all year round. And it's a wonder that we keep buying, and consumerism is such a problem because we don't even realize and take inventory and be intentional with, like, wow, I actually don't wear anything in my closet. See what I actually like and what looks good on me, and then buy quality from that point of understanding. There is so much power in creating a uniform, one that you don't even have to think. And I think for me, that is a lot of dresses, a lot of skirts. That's my uniform. I love, and a lot of color. I love pink. I love vivid, bright colors. That's my uniform. I don't have to think about it. I have clothes that make me feel pretty, And it's simple. It doesn't always have to look like jeans and a button-down white t-shirt and a beige, trench coat. It can be tailored to you. Self-expression is amazing, and it actually helps you stand out and feel beautiful. This is your opportunity to reinvent yourself, to get to know yourself, and to really step into your own confidence, not copying other people, not shrinking and fading into the background, but truly standing out. If you're somebody who loves lipstick, wear it every day, honey. I wear this every day. I love it. If you love colors, wear colors. Don't shrink or try to hide yourself because stylists or, there's trends going on where everybody's wearing black or everybody's wearing beige. No. Wear what you love. Wear what people have told you look stunning in, and build from that place. I also highly recommend a service called Rent the Runway. This is not an ad. But if you're someone who shops a lot and you find yourself just spending money a lot, I highly recommend Rent the Runway because it's a subscription every month and you can get items that you like and you can wear them and you can send them on back. And that's so awesome because how many people just overly shop and they're not even they'll buy an item and then they'll wear it once and they don't wear it again. You might as well rent it. Okay. So be intentional, lean into your self-expression, whatever that looks like for you, and walk in confidence and know that the attention that you're going to get, you're safe in that space. You're safe in the space to explore and have self-expression be true to you. The seventh and last step is all about the internal glow up. I know I went ham on the external, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me and being here. You made it. Internal glow up looks like therapy, life coaching, shadow work, journaling, prayer, meditating, and breath work. These are all things that I ride for, I believe in wholeheartedly. I personally have done all of these things. I am a firm believer in therapy, especially if you've dealt with any trauma in your life. I am a firm believer in life coaching. If you need support and to help you get past smaller blocks, I'm a huge advocate for journaling, breath work, meditating. Prayer is so important to my life and helps ground me tremendously. But when you have this routine and cultivating inner strength, inner peace, with battling the inner parts of yourself that maybe you feel shame about, or maybe you feel unworthiness about, or maybe you don't even know, you're so clogged up in your head. It's so important for you to sit with those parts of yourself and invest in yourself so that you can heal and overcome these. Because when we heal and start to overcome and grow, what happens is we start to create better boundaries for our lives. We start to attract better people into our lives, better opportunities into our lives. I found that having a routine with all of these areas for my inner glow up have been tremendous. I've had to take inventory of friendships. I've watched friendships come and go. I have made sure that certain friends have stayed around and watered those, whereas maybe I had to weed out other ones. I've leaned into having compassion for certain family members that maybe I was super judgmental about before. I've had to take accountability for my own role in situations in my life where maybe I did make a mistake and I did choose wrong and I didn't follow the right path. I've had to sit with that and unpack it and revisit that. And that can be very, very hard. I will say inner work is not something that is just like, that was fun. No. Okay. It's like full on surgery. No one wants to look at the darkness. No one wants to uncover or, re-uncover something that was really hard for them. But if you want to heal, you got to. I think about surgery. There's people that, my mom's a great example. I'll bring her up again. She broke her ankle years ago and it didn't heal correctly. And in order for it to heal, they would have to go in and re-break it to make it be better. And that sounds horrible, but that's what happens when we go through trauma, when we go through pain in our lives. If we don't sit with a therapist or we don't sit with ourselves and revisit it and look at it and deal with that pain that is going to be there, but allow ourselves to get the tools to move past it so we can truly heal, we're deserving of it. You're deserving of healing. You're deserving of feeling like you are worthy of a good life. You are deserving of peace. It just is what it is. I believe that wholeheartedly for everybody. Self-awareness is so key to walking in freedom, to walking, and honestly, self-awareness is key, and inner work is key to even welcoming in and receiving goodness. Sometimes if we have so many blocks inward and we have so much shame inside of us, our nervous system can't even hold the pose when good things happen. We're waiting for the shoe to drop. And if you've ever found yourself there where you're like, oh yay, this is really nice, but wait, am I being punked? Is this a joke? Is the shoe gonna drop? That's trauma speaking. And it's something that you shouldn't judge yourself for, but self-awareness is key. And there are resources in the world that we live in. And I'm so grateful for the times that we live in. You know, this book that I'm reading, once again, it talks about how a lot of the stuff of inner work, healing, holding space for people who have dealt with trauma, not just veterans, right? Like genuine everyday people, that stuff wasn't even here until like 1989, the 90s. So we should be grateful and we should lean in, not run away. We should lean into these new resources. We should lean into spending time. We should lean into educating ourselves and see what that could look like. And it is scary, but it's a beautiful thing. And when you start to heal yourself and you start to heal the innermost parts of yourself and hold space for yourself and not judge what you've done or what you've been through, but truly hold space and have compassion, like I said, there's a ripple effects that start to happen and you're no longer trapped inside of your body and tormented. You actually start to be able to help other people. And that's what it's all about. That's how we make this world a better place. I believe that you deserve to heal from shame. I believe that you deserve to heal from trauma and you deserve to be free. What I've come to realize to be true is that God wants that for all of us. And the people that love us, they want that for us too. They want to see us happy and free of all random coping mechanisms and free of just pain. People that love you want that for you. But it starts with us deciding that we want that for ourselves just as much as other people want it for us. And I just want to say this last little point. As you start to glow up and you start to reinvent yourself and people start to make comments like, dang, you look cute, or who do you think you are rocking that lipstick, or you love rocking that lipstick, you love wearing those dresses, or you are always looking so nice in your suits, what's up with that? Don't take that as a reason to shrink. Take that as a reason to say thank you. Sometimes it's really hard to just say thank you and hold the pose with a compliment. You don't have to be like, uh-oh, I'm getting attention. I got to sabotage myself. We're not doing that in this season. We have decided, remember, that this is the new normal and we are deserving of it. I just think it's so funny because people will give us negative comments all the time and we will hold that stuff so dear to our heart. We'll make it our whole identity. But what would happen if we held compliments dear to our heart and we made that our identity? Not saying that you need to make it your whole identity, right? We need balance out here. But just as much as we hold the negative, can we hold some of that positive too? Bottom line, the little things are what add up to the big things. So if you have big dreams and you want to have your life become the life of your dreams, start with the little things and watch things transform for the better. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.